The objective of this coding walkthrough is to familiarize yourself with using Flutter and Python in an object-oriented approach. Download Python 3.10 from the provided link in the description below. It's a stable and recent release. Download VS Code from the provided link in the description below. This is state-of-the-art for coding. Ensure that you install Python and select the option to add it to the system's path during the installation process. When installing, remember to check both options to add Open with Code, ensuring an easy open program file with VS Code. To verify the successful installation of Python, open the command prompt, CMD, and enter the commands python v and pip-v. If the pip command prompts you to update it, please proceed with the necessary updates. Please access my repository and choose the option to download both code files as demonstrated. Alternatively, you can visit the official server file hosting for Tesseract and download the software from there. Once you have finished downloading the files, extract them. Move the Tesseract file into the Code Files folder and rename one file as Image to Text and the other as Tesseract. Follow the provided demo for further instructions. Please install all the required libraries by running the provided pip commands, which can be found in the video's description. Now, your folder structure should resemble the following. Right-click on the folder and select Open with Code to open it in Visual Studio Code. I will now proceed to execute the code files to confirm the successful installation of all libraries and demonstrate the functionality of this application. Flutter offers a wide range of templates that can be used with Python to develop complete projects because of Flet. The documentation for these templates is extensive, and you can find numerous examples for each widget. This allows for efficient development and provides ample resources for reference during the project creation process. The column and row provide space for container, which be used for input like button or text box, or for output like show image text, etc. As highlighted earlier in Flutter, a page is considered a container. It is possible to pass the parameters of a page to another container using your own wrapper class. This allows for convenient parameter sharing and management between different containers within the Flutter framework. The setup function will be utilized in the main function to initialize the parameters of the page. The update function, being a class-based function, is used here merely to demonstrate that your own functions can coexist with built-in functions. This showcases the flexibility of defining custom functions within your code. Regarding the header, it receives the object of the page and invokes its constructor and draw methods to generate a container, which is then returned as part of a list. The draw method within the page object includes two containers. The second container contains 3 buttons, each associated with its own function. When a button is pressed, its respective function is executed. The functions associated with the buttons include close, to close the window, maximize, to maximize the window on the screen, and minimize to minimize the window. Regarding the footer, the initialization and draw function calls remain similar. Its fundamental purpose is to display information about the operation being performed and indicate the current processing stage. It provides details about the ongoing process, including whether it is in progress or completed. If the process is completed, it also shows whether it was successful or not. The footer acts as a status indicator, providing relevant information to the user regarding the executed operations. The update function is called by other classes to showcase their status. Now, to highlight a widget with a yellow color, you can uncomment the corresponding lines of code. Let's proceed to examine the header and footer sections. The body section contains several functions and parameters. It also returns a file picker object that needs to be added to the page. Similarly, it includes a draw function that adds various elements to the body. Let's focus on the first container in the row 1 section. The last container is primarily for spacing and includes 2 buttons. The select file function initializes the process of displaying the file in the same box. It checks the file extension and enables the upload button accordingly. It also saves user file path to object variable of class self-upload path, which is later used in upload button, so save file with 1 scaling. Here, the update function from footer is first time called through aggregation. Once the upload button is clicked, the file is saved to the upload folder and scaled up by a factor of 1. At this point, the upload button is disabled, while the extract button becomes enabled. This visual cue effectively distinguishes between the enabled and disabled states of the buttons, aiding users in understanding their current functionality and interactivity. Moving on to row 2, it consists of 2 containers and a button. One container is responsible for displaying the image, while the other container displays the extracted text. After the extract button is pressed, a corresponding function is called. This function takes the file path as a parameter and passes it to Tesseract, which processes the image and returns the extracted text as a string. This extracted text is then displayed in the text container. The extract button triggers the image processing and text extraction operation. By uncommenting the yellow background color code, you can observe the visual changes in the user interface. Initially, the disabled buttons may not appear in yellow since they are disabled. However, once they become enabled, they will take on the yellow background color specified in the code. This visual cue helps indicate the state of the buttons, distinguishing between enabled and disabled functionality. If this is path stored in Python string path =siwa, flet input np.dymg, will it be valid? Escape sequences can indeed lead to issues, particularly when dealing with file paths. These sequences can result in false or invalid paths. To mitigate this problem, it is advisable to check each character's ACII value and replace any escape sequences with their corresponding real characters. This ensures that the file paths are accurate and valid, eliminating any potential problems caused by escape sequences as demonstrated. Finally, let's build the app and witness it in action. After executing the build command, you will find the executable file in the dist folder. It is crucial to copy the executable exe file from the dist folder and place it in the main folder where the code is located. This is necessary because the file paths in the code are embedded and rely on the executable being present in the same folder. Once you have copied the executable to the main folder, you can run it to experience the app's functionality and observe it in action. Here is a function upscale your job to add an option to choose value for image upscale and show the new size in footer. If you choose to accept, to gain a better understanding of how I can help you solve the assignment problem, please download the app from GitHub and run it. Utilize the powerful combination of Flutter and Python to create an appealing and user-friendly front-end interface. Leveraging Flutter's rich set of UI components and Python's robust backend capabilities, you can develop an interactive and visually pleasing application that offers an intuitive user experience. This fusion of technologies enables you to create an attractive and functional front-end design while harnessing the versatility of Python for back-end functionality and data processing.